The 417Gamers is a group of board, tabletop, and card gamers in the 417 area code. This is the podcast. Welcome to the 417Gamer Podcast, episode 38, the one with David, Tremendicon, and Finspan. In the four, Andrea and I talk about 4 restaurants that we've been enjoying recently. We have a double topic of the show. In the first one of the 417Gamer Podcast, Andrea and I reviewed the ocean diving fish collecting game Finspan, published by Stonemaier Games. And in the next one topic of the show, we have David Stansfield from Tremendicon to talk about Tremendicon. What is a Tremendicon? How great is it? Why you should go? And then in the 7 of the 417Gamer Podcast, David answers the 7 questions of the 417Gamer Podcast. Without further ado, the 417Gamer Podcast. Welcome to the 417Gamer Podcast. My name's Rick.
And I'm Andrea.
In the 4, Andrea, what do we usually talk about?
4 events that we've been enjoying or looking forward to.
But we're switching it up.
Now we're going to talk about restaurants that we've been enjoying or looking
We've
forward
had some good ones, and in the area, we have some good restaurants. So why not,
Amazing restaurants.
discuss?
I wouldn't be surprised if per capita Springfield has the most restaurants per citizen.
Yeah.
We'd be I'm sure we're in the top in the country.
Now, granted, there's some bland food towns,
Always.
but there's some really, really good stuff. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about Metropolitan Grill. It's on Battlefield. We went there for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Now, it's Valentine's Day, so you're always going to pay a little bit more for what you're getting.
Sure.
But I had basically their surf and turf, which was a sirloin and a lobster tail, and it was delicious.
Absolutely.
We had the flash fried spinach, which was great.
It really was.
Yeah. And so there's a couple of places in town that do the flash fried spinach. One, and I'm not going to name them, but they don't dry their spinach properly to where it gets soggy after it gets fried, and it's fine, but it's not. This was nice, crisp. As soon as you put the piece of spinach in your mouth, it melted away, and you just were left with the Parmesan cheese and the butter, or the oil that was on it. Probably oil, not butter, but.
And I like to think it was healthy for me.
And you had a pork,
braised pork,
some braised pork like osso busco or something like that. That was really good too.
It was good.
Did you have asparagus with that, or what was your veggie with that?
I had mashed potatoes and couscous.
Cusco, yep. But yeah,
and a little bit of champagne.
We talked about maybe getting the dessert, but we were so full after the
yes, we
meal.
were.
We were like, no dessert. Let's just go home. Andrea, what restaurant have you enjoyed?
Well, it's called the Urban Cup, and all they sell is cupcakes and cookies. It is on Grand Street, near our house, which makes it even better.
Just east of Glenstone. It's in a little bitty strip center with Big Mike's Savings.
Yeah.
Little, like, aftermarket carpet place.
Right. But they have a wonderful facility for such a off the beaten path location. The cupcakes are huge. They have amazing gourmet flavors like banana split and strawberry cheesecake. If you are hungry for something and you need cupcakes that are better than you get at the grocery store.
Absolutely. Buy local.
Buy local. They're wonderful people that work there. The food is delicious. Give them a try.
Yeah, we went there on my mom's birthday, and my mom was like, "Don't get me a cake." And you know, it's as some of your family do. Don't do this, don't do that. So met for lunch, and we'll talk about the lunch place here in just a second. But right after that lunch, I was like, "All right, everybody follow me to Urban Cup." And Mom's like, "What's that?" And I said, "It's cupcakes." She goes, "Okay." And then everybody went there, and everybody got to pick out their cupcake they wanted to. My niece, she got her chocolate cupcake. All she wanted was the chocolate icing.
Yes.
I think my sister got to eat the actual cake part, which it's really good.
It was.
I had the I had the Boston cream pie cupcake. That was delicious.
I had the German chocolate.
Yes, and I love German chocolate. Mom had the red velvet. That was pretty good. I forget what my sister and my brother-in-law got, but they split
had the
something.
strawberry cheesecake.
The strawberry cheesecake.
Yeah.
Then my niece had the yellow cake with chocolate icing because it had sprinkles.
And when you're 6, you buy stuff based on the sprinkle content.
That's true. Sprinkle content. How's your sprinkle content? I'll go with the other one, the one that has sprinkle content. So I alluded, the previous restaurant was Coyote's Adobe Cafe. And that is a frequent haunt for ours because they have the best wings in town. They have over 40 flavors. Then on top of that, you can twice fry all of those 40 flavors. And, I would say my favorite is the Arizona Gunslinger, which is their third hottest. It's the hottest that still has really good flavor.
Yeah.
Which burned some people's rear ends that they were trying to share with me. Because my dad is usually on par with me, and not with my heat, but eating wings.
Flavor, yeah.
And he tried one. He goes, "Oh, my hair's sweating. My eyebrows are sweating. I'm all sweating." And my brother-in-law, he does not do hot, and that's fine. Know your limits. But he was trying to grab one of the Nixie Chicks, which is a sweet and saucy wing, and it rolled over into my Arizona Gunslinger sauce. And he goes, "That's yours." I'm like, "It just did a little dab." He goes, "Nope, that's yours.
Too much.
I don't do that heat." But they have my favorite fries in town.
They have amazing French fries.
It had been a while since I craved somebody's French fries because after everybody changed all their oils from the trans fats, and I get it, they're trying to be healthier.
Yeah.
Ish, but I also think some of that's cost cutting too.
Sure.
But McDonald's does not. I don't care about their fries, and there's not really a fast food fry that I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Now Coyote's fries, I could just do a basket of those.
And they're a mix of regular fries and sweet potato waffle cut fries.
Mm-hmm.
And
they also do
delicious.
tater tots if you want to order just a basket of tater tots. They are delicious, and they also will load them and put chili on them if you want. They have a really good burger.
They do.
I don't usually get the burger because their wings are so good, but they have an excellent burger.
And on the weekend, they even serve breakfast.
Yes, and they have one of my favorite breakfast dishes. They have a Glenstone pileup, which is hash browns and scrambled eggs, and a chicken tender that is tossed in buffalo sauce, then cut into pieces, with gravy and cheese covering the top of it. It's so good. But then I kind of sometimes just want to wait until noon so I can have my wings. Andrea, last but not least, what other restaurants have we been enjoying?
Corner 21.
Corner 21's so good.
It is traditional Chinese. They don't have the regular, cashew chicken. It is traditional. They have even roasted duck there.
At the new location, yes.
Yes, they have two locations. The original location, which is on the corner of Fremont and Sunshine, which used to be a little bitty Baskin Robbins. And they outgrew that very quickly because they became very popular because their food's amazing. And they've opened a second location over on Republic Road, near Republic Road in Fremont. They have a much bigger location. It used to be a barbecue place, which I think was Sweet Fire or something
I think
like
so.
that. But they have a lot more room, a lot more seating, and they have more menu options over there, like the roasted duck. You can buy half a duck or a whole
duck.
Also,
those pork buns, those were delicious.
Oh my gosh, they were so good. If you are craving something a little bit better than just the regular Springfield drive-through cashew chicken joint, this place, top notch.
If you're not sure what to get and you're very much a Springfield or in the area, try their sweet and sour pork. It's a twice fried pork that is crispy in a very sweet sauce. But a lot of those sauces will kind of...
it's almost candied meat, almost.
I know.
It's so good.
The noodles and brown sauce is really good.
The hot and crispy fish.
Yep. And we're not big fish fans.
No, but we like this.
The squid fried rice was really good, and I don't care for squid usually.
The Kung Pao shrimp, delicious.
Excellent. The pineapple chicken was really good. I like the Szechuan chicken, but it's on the spicy side.
Spicy. And they have some very spicy dishes
Yes,
here.
they do. And the duck is excellent. The Peking duck is good.
It's really good.
Just look at the price before you order it. Don't be surprised. And if they ask you half or whole duck, make sure go half duck unless you have the crowd. Yeah. If you have a big enough crowd to go whole duck, by all means. We made the mistake. We didn't even look at it. We wanted to go full duck. We paid for it, and there was way too much meal for our crowd. We were only 4 people.
Yeah, well, it comes with soup and these little wraps and vegetables, and it's just a lot.
Duck meat, duck skin, the hoisin barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
That's the 4 on the 417 Gamer. Andrea, what do we do next?
Go get something to eat because you just made me hungry.
I know. But let's go on to the one topic of the show.
Moon City Con for Meeple Kind is headed to the Hilton Garden Inn in Springfield, Missouri, June 6th through the 8th. Get your badges at mooncitycon.com. That's right, we're headed to Saturn this year. We invite board gamers of all ages to join us on Titan this June. On Saturn's largest moon and the second largest in the entire solar system. This year we're excited to introduce brand new events and thrilling challenges for everyone to enjoy. And of course, we're bringing back fan favorites, including the best play-to-win selection in Springfield, daily prizes, and vendor raffles. Also, we'll be having our first ever silent charity auction, benefiting the Care Animal Rescue Clinic. Don't miss this chance to be a part of an unforgettable gaming adventure. Register now, and together, let's conquer Titan for all meeple kind. Get your badges at mooncitycon.com, and we'll see you in Springfield, Missouri, June 6th through the 8th at the Hilton Garden Inn.
The one in the 417 Gamer podcast is our topic of the show. Andrea, what are we reviewing?
Finspan.
Finspan is designed by David Gordon and Michael O'Connell. It is published by Stonemeyer Games. The artists credited on this are Ana Maria Martinez Yarmillo, and Mesa Schumacher. The description from the publisher is, you are a marine researcher seeking to find and observe an array of aquatic life in the colorful sunlight zone, ghostly twilight zone, and the pitch-black midnight zone of the world's seas and oceans. In Finspan, the fish you discover over 4 weeks will generate a series of benefits as you dive deeper into the oceans. Each dive site specializes in a key aspect of expanding your research. Grow your fish collection, discover freshly laid eggs, hatch eggs into young and consolidate young to form schools. The winner is the player with the most points gained from fish, eggs, young, schools, and achievements. So Finspan is a card management resource management game. On a turn, you're going to place a little diver in one of 4 areas. Either you're going to put him at the top left of your board to play fish. You're going to dive in the blue area to gain cards. You're going to dive in the purple area to lay eggs. And you're going to dive in the green area to hatch eggs and move them as the description said. In the 417 Gamer podcast, we grade and review these games using 5 criteria. Presentation. How does the game look on the table? How much does it invite you to want to come play it? The box art, how does it look on your shelf, and how does it make you want to pull it back out to play it? Or in a retail aspect, how does it differentiate itself so you want to buy it? The other one is components and rulebook. How nice are the components? How easy is the rulebook to get through? Gameplay. How well does the game play? What is the gameplay? Theme. How does the theme incorporate itself in the game? Does it make sense? And then it factor. How much do you want to get this game back to the table? Andrea, presentation. What do you think about the presentation on Finspan?
I think it is just as good as the other Span games, Wingspan and Wormspan. Mm-hmm. The art on the cards is really nice. The board itself is really nice. The artwork is very attention-getting, very realistic on the fish iconography. I really appreciate that about it. We have the upgraded tokens in our set with wooden fish and acrylic
little rubber egg balls.
Eggs. The game comes with cardboard tokens.
And I think it's 50-50. I like the wooden fish. The rubber egg balls roll off the mat.
They do.
Often. So often. We played a 5-player game, and I think every single one of the players dropped an egg at least twice to the floor.
Yeah. So the cardboard tokens that come with the original game for the eggs...
Don't roll.
Yeah, it's probably the way to go. So I'm very impressed with just like the quality of this game, just like the other Span games. I'll give it a solid 4.0.
And see, So I'm going to go down to a 3.8. And my takeaway is I don't care for the board itself. I understand what the board does, but it's dark. It's kind of muted. Where Wingspan, I think all of the actions are well written, well depicted on where they are on the board. Maybe the actions themselves are a little convoluted, what you need to do. Same thing with Wormspan. I think Wormspan, it is very clear what goes where on your board. I think, and I'm only taking off that little bitty tick on the board. Otherwise, I agree with you. I think the tokens are nice. I think the card art brings people, because you like fish, you like dragons, you like birds. The art is similar throughout. It's excellent art on the cards. And then the box art is very much similar to the rest of them. It's a Wingspan game is what they call it. And Elizabeth Hargrave started the action selection game, at least this genre of gaming. And the box, it looks really nice on a retail shelf. It's now kind of a known quantity, but I think that does itself as much service as it does disservice now, because a lot of people, when this was announced, came out like, oh, another Span game.
I don't need a third version of that game, but it's very different. I think, in my opinion, it is the easiest to teach of all three types of games.
So presentation, how much does it bring people to the table, and how much does it how much does it pop off our shelf? 3.8 on presentation.
Okay.
Components of rulebook, I'm at a 4.25 on this one.
Yeah.
Because card art, we just alluded to the art, and the art for presentation is one thing, but for just component sake, the art is awesome on these fish. I like the fish. I had I wanted the shark so bad. We played this game 6 or 7 times. We played it at 2 twice. We played it at 3, 4, and 5, and I think I taught a 5-player game. I want the whale shark. I want the great white is what I really want to play. I'd take anything. I'd take a mako if I don't even know if mako's in there.
I don't think it is.
Aw, why not?
I don't know.
But I got, out of 5 or 6 games we played, I got the cookie cutter shark.
Little bitty guy with a goofy look on his face.
Yes, but I utilized him and I got 5 points because I put him at the very bottom of my ocean. So he was worthwhile to how I played him. Rulebook is very easily laid out. I think a newer player to the hobby could read that book very easily and set up the game and play it. I wouldn't give it to a family member that doesn't play games or just is dipping their toe. But if you have a friend that is getting into the hobby and they are getting into the hobby, not they just played one game, I think this, if they liked the Wingspan or the Wormspan, I think this is a good one to give them.
Yeah, I'm going to go 4.0 again.
Okay.
For mine.
Then we got gameplay. You've alluded to this. This is the easiest of the Wingspan, Wormspan, Finspan of the spans. The actions are easier to play, are easier to teach. I think they're a little straightforward currently. Who knows if they make expansions to the fish, if it makes it more complicated. Because the base Wingspan, the bird actions, for the most part, were fairly easy, except for the only time people kind of got tripped up in our group is the first time we did the between action birds. There was a little argument on how those triggered and stuff like that. But then the expansions, when you got to Europe, Oceania, and now Asia, that added more actions. You had in between rounds, you had in the game and stuff like that, which just added more to it. But the gameplay is basically you're playing these 6 divers in a week or a round. They call each round weeks. To either play fish, get more fish cards, lay some eggs, or hatch eggs to make fish and schools. And when you hatch an egg, you replace that egg token with a little young fish, a little yellow fish. And whenever you move them, if you move 3 yellow fish together, they form a school. The reason why you might want to do this, eggs are worth 1 point. Young fish are worth 1 point, but if you have a school of 3 fish, or 3 young fish make a school is worth 6. So that is the reason why you want to move some of that stuff around. We had a friend that played with us, and he had 5 or 6 schools of fish. He had almost 40 points in schools.
That was his strategy, just make schools of fish. And
tons of schools.
He won.
Yeah. So, and we've played with newer players. We had somebody that never played Finspan, had a good time, and we had seasoned gamers that like playing heavier stuff. He also had a decent time himself.
Yeah.
So gameplay, I'm going to put this at a solid 4. I think the game plays well. Actually, I'll go 4 1/4. I'll go 4 1/4 because, yeah, the new person had no problem. The seasoned gamer had a good time with it. Andrea, gameplay, any issues, anything to add?
No, I did just look up to see that Stonemaier Games has said that they are doing an expansion already for more fish, so maybe you'll get your Mako shark.
Oh, Mako shark, hammerhead shark, wobblegong shark, Jackson shark.
He likes them sharks.
Goblin shark, basking.
I'm going to go 4.25 as well.
Okay.
I do like that in the gameplay it does differentiate between prey fish or predator fish. There's a little shark tooth icon with a little bit of blood on it to see that these are predator fish, and a predator fish can be, or any larger fish can be played on top of a smaller fish. 4.25 for me.
And that brings us to theme. The theme, I think, is incorporated quite well, but I don't feel like it's as thematic as a Wingspan was, because all the birds...
Yeah, I would agree with you.
...laid eggs or took food or acquired things kind of similar to what that bird would do. The fish, you are usually discarding our cards or eggs or young, and sure, fish eat that, but it didn't feel like... I'm not saying it's not thematic. It didn't feel as thematic as those other games. And we are comparing it to those other games, and it's almost hard not to.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's just because of the shoulders it's standing next to that, and it's not a bad score. I'm just going to give it a 3.9.
Yeah, I'm going to go 4.0. I do appreciate the that aspect. So I think I'm a little higher than you.
Gotcha. And then It Factor, how much do you want to play this game? And I told Andrea, out of the spans, base game, no expansions, this is probably my favorite one to play, and this is one I really want to play with my dad and my sister, because my dad loves fish.
Yeah.
And my sister likes Wingspan, but she doesn't get to play it often enough. So when she plays it, she's playing usually against other family members have played it quite a bit, and she's kind of gets her butt kicked. And that's not... I mean, that's just because she doesn't get to play it as much.
Of course.
So, as far as It Factor, I'm going to go 4.2.
I'm going to go 4.0 just because I prefer Wormspan, but it's not a huge difference for me.
It's not a huge difference.
Yeah.
All right. We total this up. Andrea, on presentation, you're a 4. I'm a 3.8. Components and rulebook, you're a 4. I'm on a 4.25. Gameplay, we're both 4.25s. Theme, you're at a 4. I'm at a 3.9 just because I was just being a little picky. And It Factor, I'm at a 4.2. You're at a 4.0. Which the final score brings Andrea at an 81 and me an 81.6, which rounds up to an 82 for Finspan. Designed by David Gordon, Michael O'Connell, published by Stonemaier Games. So, we usually just do one in the 417Gamer podcast because we have a 4, a 1, and a 7. But Tremendicon is coming up, and we really wanted to have David Stansfield, the president of Tremendicon, come on. So, on the next segment, we're going to do another 1. You get a bonus 1. So, it's the 417 Gamer podcast. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right, let's go on to the 1.
Tremendicon is taking place May 30th through June 1st at the Oasis Hotel and Convention Center. Tremendicon is more than just another comic convention. Following Tremendicon's principles of education, inspiration, encouragement, collaboration, and charity, Tremendicon is a non-profit convention experience where real educational experiences are available to attendees. From professionals in their creative roles, attendees get to have an interactive and face-to-face opportunity to foster creativity. Artists paint canvases of education and discussion. Writers delve into their craft of weaving tales. Game designers sharing details of the minutiae of game development are just a few of the tracks that Tremendicon is proud to offer. Tremendicon takes place May 30th through June 1st at the Oasis Hotel and Convention Center. For attendee badges and or information, head over to Tremendicon.com.
The One on the 417Gamer podcast is our topic of the show, and we're joined by our friend David.
Hello.
He is with Tremendicon. Tremendicon is a creator convention that takes place at the Oasis Convention Center May 30th through June 1st. Tell us more about Tremendicon. What is a Tremendicon, David?
So Tremendicon is the name that we finally figured out after much trying. Let me tell you, do you know how hard it is to name a new convention? If you think of a new name and you're like, that sounds like a cool name, look it up. It's already been used.
Simpsons did it.
Yeah, Simpsons did it. Totally. But yeah, so a lot of people refer to it as a creators convention, but it really, that is one way to view it. However, it is a normal convention. It's just every convention has a little bit of a different theme to it.
Yeah.
You find all the same beats that you'd find at a regular Comic-Con. We've got the big vendors room. We've got the big gaming area, which, by the way, is going to be jam-packed this year. I've already seen the gaming schedule.
Nice.
Game masters out there, if you're wanting to get a badge and run a game, you better do it because it's filling up. There won't be any spaces left.
Yeah.
And then we also have, panels and workshops and seminars. We have club tables too, lots of them, of which one of them should be you guys.
Yeah.
And we try to build this whole big, convention experience, but in the underline there is, if you are a creative seeking something, like if you're seeking, I like to write stories. Could I do this professionally? Well, there's like 10 people there that can help you with that and will and want to. That's why they're there.
Yeah.
Same thing with artists. I always say, like, at game design, same way. I feel like when you're demoing your game that you're creating, demoing it for your folks is fine.
Right.
But they don't know how to give you really good feedback and may not really know how to improve your game. So they may tell you it's great. No. Go to a con, pick 4 people or however many people it takes to play your game, and just rando it right there in the wild. You'll get your best feedback you'll ever have. Yeah. And I know that because I do game design. So that's like the stuff that we offer. There's we do contests. Then that allows you to get your stuff out there. The game design contest, year before last, we only had 3 entries because it's a full weekend event, or was then. They've streamlined it since then. So you're spending your weekend making a game to a playable point.
Yeah.
Is it a finished point? No, you don't have to get it to a finished point. In 3 days, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But if you get it to a playable point, you've already beat out 90% of game designers that start. And all 3 of them either sold their game or made a deal with a publisher to get their game published at the con.
Wow.
Nice.
That's amazing.
I mean, that's 3 people that could just go with that as a thing to do.
Yeah.
We've had cross collaboration between people. We've had all kinds of success stories, and what's really kind of great is they trickle into me. I hear them throughout the year. Nobody just comes up and says, like, here's the report of everything cool that's happened here.
Sure.
Yeah.
And while you're running it, you don't have time to find out all the cool stuff.
I don't have time to stop. But, that's what really keeps me going. I feel like we're doing a solid good into the world. Can put good into the world.
Absolutely.
There's definitely enough negativity. So let's do something awesome, But yeah, that's Tremendicon. It is a convention like any other Comic-Con, except we want people to get something out of it creatively if they want it. If you want to just come and be entertained, you will absolutely be entertained.
Yes.
If you want to come and you're seeking something, you might be able to find it there. If you want to just come and shop, just come and shop. It's $5 to get into the vendor's room. Hey. You don't even have to get a badge for the whole thing.
Yeah.
That $5 gets you one day into the vendor room.
And it's huge vendor room too. It's a good space.
It is. And let me tell you something about that. So last year we had vendors tables still like at the end, like almost like right up to con. Year before that, we were selling vendor tables at the con. This year we sold out 2 months ago.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Artist alley tables, we thought they probably won't sell out. No, they're sold out. They sold out first, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and we've got a waiting list of people for the vendors rooms. So, I mean, I wish we could get more vendors in there. I really do.
Yeah.
But it would sacrifice programming area content like that. But
Sure.
you know, we've made a lot of changes over the years too. Like,
Sure.
you know, our first 2 years we did a movie room. We did a movie room and an anime room the first year. And they weren't very well populated. So I thought, let's combine them. And also I listened to feedback on it. Because feedback is super important as a convention showrunner. And one of the things was, you're not showing anything I can't just watch or haven't already watched. Like, yes, you're showing the Kenobi season finale. I already watched it. So why would I go in there and watch it again?
Sure.
That's not exactly a good excuse for me, but that was just overwhelmingly what they said. So I did the programming the second year, and I picked out movies that were hard to find, were only on DVD, not on streaming, or movies that no one really knew about. And I came up with the best programming list. I mean, it's a programming list that I would love. It'd be like, oh, I can go watch a movie pretty much any time. Nobody went. So we just knew it was time to exit.
Yeah.
We retained the rooms. We turned one of the rooms into a quiet chill out space for anybody who needs it. And the other one is it's a overflow room for the gaming. So if like we get a group of gamers that want to play a game, we can just put them in that room for their session.
Yeah.
Or if they have to have a quiet session away from the rest of the gaming.
Exactly. So it's just something we just make available. Or if you are a podcaster and you want to interview one of our guests, you have a quiet place to go.
Nice.
So I tell you, I try to think of everything.
Well, and then guests. Guests is where I think you guys are a different comic convention. A lot of comic conventions just want the guests to come up there and sign some autographs and say hi to people. You guys want guests that are going to be collaborative.
Correct. We want guests who are going to interact with our attendees.
Like you had Shane Hensley, who made Deadlands and the whole Savage World system. He came out there and did panels and ran games.
Yes. I got to play Deadlands with the guy who created it.
Yeah.
That was my one thing. I get one thing a year to pick. That was my one thing. And it was spectacular. I don't think people understand how great of an experience that is to play a popular game with the guy who made it. It's like if you have a favorite book and you can meet the author and you can sit down and talk to him about it and let him explain the story to you, that is going to be your best experience.
Oh yeah.
You know, but we've been pretty lucky in that respect. Our gaming guests have been spectacular. I mean, we had Shane Hensley, and then last year we had Ross Babcock, the guy who created BattleTech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And FASA Games. FASA Games. I mean, wargamers out there know what that is and should have freaked out, and they did. Shane Hensley, you know, did Savage Worlds, did Deadlands. He runs Pinnacle Entertainment. That's huge. I mean, if I could get Gary Gygax, I would, but that would take necromancy, and I can't do that.
Not yet. Not with that attitude.
Not with that attitude. But we have some that we're going after for next year. That's gonna we're going after the icons in the gaming realm.
But who are some of your guests this year?
So that's a very good question. I have been so hands-on over the last couple of years, and let me tell you, my staff have complained about it. They're a matter of you're wearing too many hats. So I try to stay pretty hands-off.
Gotcha.
Along the lines of the guests, I am not micromanaging. If they come up to me and they're like, "Can I get this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, do it. I don't care. Use your best judgment." That's my new thing now. Use your best judgment. But I run a track too. And so I have to get guests because I run the Maker's Track. Maker's Track, though, is fairly easy. We've got Grimbeard Leather coming back again.
Oh, yeah.
We have Ye Olde Lasersmith coming back again. They're setting up booths. So this year we're doing something different. And this, Grimbeard, God bless him for being a genius. The guy puts so much effort into his booths, into his work, into what he does. Ye Olde Lasersmith's the same way.
Yeah.
Those guys they're spectacular. And I'm happy that I can call them my friends.
Yeah.
Grimbeard told me, he's like, why don't I just do my workshops at my booth? I'm like, well, how many could you do? He's like, I could do like 4 or 5 people at a time. Well, before we were only doing like 3 or 4 sessions throughout the weekend,
Right.
with like maybe 10 or 20 people. This way he gets more people in there, and it is more of a working experience. So you can just walk up if there's an available seat, sit down and start doing your workshop.
That's great.
And Ye Olde Lasersmith, when I told him about that, he's like, I can do that too. So he's doing that too.
Absolutely.
So
Nice.
all the sessions right now for workshops are that, or I've got someone coming in to do little goblin charms. I've got someone coming in to do paint and takes, several of them actually. And then there's me. I'm actually going to do some content this year.
Really?
It's very dependent if I get my 3D printer working correctly.
Right.
So last year we did a sponsorship trade with the Gilloys. Did it again this year. Thank gosh for them. They're so great.
Yeah.
We love the Gilloys. Oh. So the Gilloys, they sponsored with us. So last year we were sponsoring their Lord of the Rings marathon event.
Yes.
And so how that worked is they got a booth at Tremendicon, and they did a fantastic job with it. They decorated it up. They had Lord of the Rings stuff to give away, and they were selling tickets to the Lord of the Rings marathon. And then we, in turn, went there and we did stuff with them at the actual marathon.
Yeah.
And they had a trivia party for all those who bought VIP tickets. And here's why that was so cool. Hannah Marr from Show Me Trivia, she came and did it, and I wasn't allowed to play because I'm really good at it. But I made three Lord of the Rings clocks. Oh. It was the one ring with basically the shape of it is the one ring, and then in the middle of it was the clock. And they're functional clocks. I 3D printed them, painted them, and everything, and we used them as prizes. So this year, if I'm lucky and I get my 3D printer to work, I'm going to be doing a workshop where we're going to do those very same things. But I also have other options too.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Harry Potter,
Yeah.
Batman, stuff like that. And it'll be a free event.
Oh, wow. That's great.
They're not my patterns. I can't sell them. So, and plus it doesn't cost anything to print those out.
Right.
But yeah, I'm doing that too. So I'm packing it with new stuff. But then all the other tracks have got some really cool stuff coming in too.
Nice.
We have some of our fan favorites coming back, like Aaron Conaway. We love Aaron. I mean, he's been with us since year 1. But we've got some new ones. Aaron Campbell is coming. He is coming for our multimedia track. So our multimedia track is actually kind of hitting like a really high point this year. We haven't gone this much with the multimedia track in quite a long time. So going with what we're going now, it's like we're getting in some really bigger name talent in that still services what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want a celebrity come in that's just going to be like signing autographs and, could possibly cost us a couple $1,000s. We can't afford that. Right. We don't want to try to afford that.
Yeah.
But then we have Clever Kaiju coming back. They weren't here last year because they've been working on a project, and they'll be talking about that. I don't want to spoil that for them. But Clever Kaiju, I mean, that's what they do. They educate in art, So they're going to come back in full force and do a bunch of stuff. We have Kenneth Hite coming for our game design. Just look him up. He's really cool. We have Elsie Mortimer. And We have a bunch more. They're all on our website.
Tons of guests. And you never know which guests are going to hit and which aren't. You're surprised when some... Oh, Andrea was president of Branson Comic-Con.
Oh, that's right. You were, weren't you? I forgot about that.
And then, you'll bring in several guests, and you'll be surprised sometimes. Like, one person's booth's just lined out the door, and you're like, oh, that was kind of a secondary third guest. And, like, one of your primaries just isn't quite hitting the way you thought. You're like, man, did I, make a mistake? And you never know. It could have been just an appearance on a talk show. It could have been a cameo on a TV show. Like, who was the Flash that you had?
Well, that was for VisionCon, John Wesley Shipp. He was the original Flash in the 80s for TV show. And then when they had the CW Flash, he played the dad of Barry Allen.
And then he had just played the dad when he was coming on, right?
Yeah, and his line was always...
Because before they had him, or you booked him and you're like, I don't know how he's going to do. And then he... cameo.
Yeah, he blew it out of the park.
Yeah, he was great.
I volunteered that year.
Yeah.
Because, I had retired from VisionCon. I just came back to help with guests and stuff like that. And I remember just watching his line, just be like, oh my gosh, this is so great.
He was fantastic, too. Every person he interacted with, he was just a gem.
And then you had one guest down there that just wanted to do karaoke the whole time. We'll leave that guest to be unnamed.
But that was also the same year I think you guys had, you had two of the guys from, what's the name of that, Face Off or whatever it was, the sci-fi special practical effects series?
Yeah, it was Face Off is the name of the series.
Yes, okay.
And it's a competition show where you do special effects makeup, monster makeup, stuff like that.
Yes, it's a fantastic show.
Oh, if you have not watched it, it's available. I think it's on Netflix. You should go back and check it out.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Wonderful.
So who is Tremendicon for? Who should go to Tremendicon?
Tremendicon is for everybody, honestly. If you are just a guy who likes to go to the vendor's room and shop, we have a very good vendor's room.
Absolutely.
Every year it's been organic too. I haven't tried to make it that way, and that's crazy.
Yeah,
because sometimes you get vendor rooms that are a little kind of like slanted towards one thing or another. Like you have a heavy anime room, or you have a heavy jewelry making room. I've seen it.
Yeah,
we have a very good diverse amount of stuff there.
Yeah.
But it's also for people who want to just come and game. You want to come and game the whole time? We have play-to-wins this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we have some plans for next year that's going to kind of catapult that. But we'll see. We have new people running our game room. Damien was doing our game room before, but he was running war games at the same time, and it made it really difficult for him to focus on doing that. And Damien's the war game guy. So now he is wargaming it big time this year because he doesn't have to run anything. But we're going to have some big trading card game tournaments there too, like pretty much nonstop. But it's also there for like, you like cosplay? There's going to be tons of cosplay there. We have a cosplay track with cosplay guests. And we've always got some really good names. Like last year we had Night Mage. This year we have Diana the Great. And I saw her at Planet. She was pretty great.
Yeah.
And super nice person. And she has so many people just adore her.
Yeah.
Come out and see her, But do you like the Ghostbusters? Do you like Halo? Because the 405th are going to be back this year.
Oh, wow.
We try to make it so there's something for everybody there.
Including the kiddos.
Including the kiddos, especially the kiddos. Let me tell you. So, Tremendicon... Again, like I said, my heart was in the right place when I made the con. Amy and I labored over what we should do it as. Because we wanted to make it something good. Because at the time that we came up with this idea, the country is pretty hateful towards each other. And in a lot of cases still are. But that's not something that happens at Tremendicon. It's Switzerland for everybody.
Yeah.
No beef. No beef's there. Everybody come in, have a good time. You don't have to like everybody. Just come in and have a good time. You will have fun.
Absolutely.
Well, there's beef at the Fire and Ice restaurant down the corner.
That's right. If you want beef,
Delicious
that's your beef.
Delicious.
It's very good beef.
Hopefully the remodel's done by now, because last year they were doing the remodel in the middle.
It is done. I swear they've been remodeling through the entire time. They're done now, though.
Awesome.
Yes.
We tried their flash fried spinach. Sorry to get off topic. Their flash fried spinach was and probably the best in town. Because we've had Retro Metros, we've had Metropolitan Grills. Theirs is the best flash fried spinach.
I had that too, and let me tell you, it is surprisingly delicious.
It is.
Because they ordered it. Because when we go in and meet with them, they always take us to lunch there. And they ordered it one time. They're like, "You got to try this." And I'm just like, I don't know about this. It was so good.
Yeah.
I was
You
so
put a
surprised.
little leaf of spinach on your tongue with the Parmesan, and it just melts. You're like,
Yes,
oh.
it's so amazing.
Why can't all spinach that I've ever eaten taste like that?
Yeah, I mean, Popeye would lose his mind. But all their food's good there.
Yeah.
That's what's really kind of nice, too. But as far as, like, who should come, I mean, it's really anybody who's seeking anything. Do you like to play games that no one's played before? Well, we have people coming in and demoing their games. I mean, you can come in and literally just game the entire time. It's just like VisionCon used to be. When you used to go and you just gamed for the whole weekend, you can do that.
Yeah.
I wanted that experience. But I wanted the experience of not just catering to the gamers. You know, you need to cater to the cosplayers. You know, the cosplay track is very important. We picked our tracks out specifically for what they were. And we actually have ideas on how to expand it. And we might.
It also
Soon.
feels like you guys pick the tracks where you have people that are passionate in those fields.
Yes.
Historically, Springfield, some of our conventions that we've had, whenever they try and cater to all of the crowds, you have people that are attached to those that are kind of, I mean, that was a job foisted upon them, and their area looks it.
That's true. That is true. We avoid that.
Yeah.
We want people who want to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny. We've had so many guests that are like, okay, well, I'll check my calendar. They're like, what's this convention all about? And we tell them, and they're like, oh, yeah, no, we'll be there. It changes their mind, their attitude.
Yeah.
But, you know, like we've gone after the people that I don't think most conventions do go after. The kids. Every track is required to have something that is kid-friendly
That's great.
for them to do. I mean, we call it riding the track. So a track is the artist track, the writer's track, the game design track. So basically you just do that content. It's like mini conventions inside of one big convention.
Yeah.
And if you ride the artist track, it just means you're doing all the artist content, right? The kids track, if your kid is riding the kids track, they're getting everything. And that's what I wanted. I wanted kids to have the most exposure to creativity.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like kids get that. They don't. I mean, not unless they're going to like some specialized school for it. You know,
Or unless they're lucky enough to go to a school where a teacher is passionate. And it seems that that's kind of been the rarity instead of the rule anymore. At least it feels that way.
it feels that way for me too. From what I've seen, I asked a lot of parents about it. You know, I talked to parents about this stuff. I actually did some legwork here. So I want kids to get the most out of it. We even have like a table set up with just activities for kids. If they got a badge and they come in, they can do stuff there all weekend long. And it's all there for them to make and take.
Yeah.
So last year we did a stone snake. And that was massive, by the way.
Yeah.
Where they got to decorate rocks and then make the snake.
And then they forgot to take them.
Yeah, they forgot to take them.
Some of those stones might have been hidden in the rock garden at the hotel.
Yeah, some of them are still there. But some of them actually went home with Deanna because she was the one that said, I'll make sure that they get taken home. And then they didn't. So we're like, you take them home. But then there's also something else that we do. We reach out to a group of people that I don't think a lot of conventions like are trying to keep them out, but they just don't think about them as being part of the convention scene, and that is people with developmental disabilities. We've been building that up since year 2. We did it in year 1, but we didn't really reach out too far. because we didn't know really what to do at that point.
Yeah.
But I remember going to a convention and I saw a group of people come in that were obviously there with, caregivers and, but one thing, I used to work in that field, so I know one thing about them, and that is they don't have money or transportation to just do whatever they want. So we've reached out to those organizations and we've invited them. And what we do is we provide them with cheap badges. I think we charge them like a couple bucks. Something affordable for them. Mm-hmm. And then when they come in, they last year we did something special specifically for them, like a special event for them. I don't know if we're doing that this year. At least if we are, I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. And that's okay that I don't know. But we also gave them bags of goodies, stuff for them, because they can't really afford to go spend money in the vendor's room. And then we got several of our vendor room booths. The people that were there, and God bless them for doing this and playing along. But in their bag, they got a couple of coins, and we used real metal coins. And they could take them to booths that were marked a special way and trade the coin in for something from the booth. So they could actually, they get the experience, you know?
Purchasing something,
It's the only way is if we help them have the experience is how they're going to get it, right? And, God bless the caregivers that bring them, because I know that's an organizational event, but I think this year we have like 60 plus people coming.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
They're going to be a
so
significant
nice.
part of the convention.
Yeah.
And I just tell you, the fact that we're growing that and we're getting more kids, that right there tells me that we're doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. As long as we keep trying, that's the important thing. We need to try to include people into the community. Yeah. And that's everybody though. If you hate the artists that we have there, that's okay. Just come to the convention anyway. Just ignore them. Avoid them. If you don't like conventions, well, come and try ours. It's a little different.
Yeah. It is.
I don't know. I feel like everybody's got something there. Mm-hmm. Even my dad came to the convention and he sat down and talked to some of the writers because he likes to read. And one of his favorite writers was there one year. So that was even better, So... But the outpouring of support from the community that we've gotten is pretty impressive. Yeah. But honestly, the community can support us more by coming and buying a badge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that right now.
Mm-hmm. And Springfield can be very fickle.
Yeah, I have a term for it.
Yeah.
Should I say it?
No. But we have the Springfield Cardinals. We have we have the Missouri State Bears.
I wish we had the Chicago Bears.
We have we have an arena football team. We had a minor league hockey team, and you never know when Springfield's gonna show up. We have the Springfield Little Theater. We have Juanita K. We have so many awesome venues and things, and the Gilloys and things to go do. And sometimes Springfield shows up, and sometimes Springfield does not.
And I understood that during the times of COVID.
Sure.
Don't want to show up.
COVID.
I get it. I do. Totally. If you're worried about it still, then yeah. But take precaution.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to go to the store, maybe you can show up for a couple hours. Yeah. Go to the vendor's room. Throw $5. Put some skin in the game. Help us out a little bit. Maybe buy a couple things and go home. Say you had a good experience, you know?
And you will, yeah.
And you will. All of our guests are in there.
We always walk away with stuff, whether we want to or not. And it's not that we don't want to. It's just we don't
always find something so unique.
Your guys' and then Geekmas with Hawk, whenever he does that, we always find something last-minute Christmas gift at that. The vendor, it's handmade. And when you're buying the handmade and the vendor stuff, that money is going to them and then their kids and their lunch money, and that's going to shoes, it's going to pay bills.
Yeah, not just to Amazon.
Yeah. It's going to local peoples.
Yes.
Everybody keeps on talking about we need to buy here, spend money local.
Let's do it. Yeah.
And and we're doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We tend to, and I don't like saying local artists or local guests because they're not just local,
right?
But we like getting those. We like getting the people who live here to come and be part of the convention.
Yeah.
And we like partnering with the local businesses too, like the Gilloys. They're a big supporter for us, and we love them, and they love us, and it lends some legitimacy to what we're trying to do because they are an established artistic community. They're also non-for-profit.
Yeah.
You know, so if the fact that they partner with us, it shows the people that no, this is on the up and up. You know, and that's the kind of stuff that we like. A lot of the game stores in town are now getting on board. That's why the game room is going to be packed.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. I need the community to back us, to get behind us and help us, prop us up a little bit, because it's really hard propping yourself up. And
It is. But you're also coming on the tail end of other conventions that we've discussed that kind of have burned some of the game stores.
True.
You know, they put the money out for the booth, and then, you know, advertising or even just a rub back and forth doesn't really materialize. So when another convention and, you know, comes by, it's like, do I do this one also?
Right.
But now, before we head out of here, how much are badges?
Badges right now are $30. So now let me tell you something. When you go to Tremendicon.com and you pick, you select registration or badges or whatever the drop down is, it's obvious what it is.
Yep.
It takes you to tabletop.events. You guys know that. You use that.
Yeah, we do.
You use that. It's a pretty good platform. Is it the best? No.
Nothing's the best.
Nothing's the best. I work in IT. I know that. Nothing is the best. If you're looking for the magic bullet, it doesn't exist. But it does really good for what we need it for. So when you go on there, first thing you do is create a free account. Once you do that, then go back to Tremendicon's tabletop.events page, buy a badge. When you're checking out, there is 2 places. You can either enter it in, or you can just click the button that says pre-reg. That gives you $10 off the at-the-door price.
Nice.
So it's $30 right now. It'll be $40 at the door, and that's for a full weekend badge. I believe that we will have individual day badges available. Game Master badges, for all of those that are out there that want to run games, the only requirement is we require you to run 6 hours worth of games.
Gotcha.
Or more. And that gives you a half price badge of the pre-reg price. So it's $15.
Yeah.
Volunteers get the same kind of treatment. Still the same amount of time that you have to dedicate to it. But it's a little bit different. Volunteers, you are going to do that 6 hours. Game Masters, if you set up your game and you show up for it, but no one else does, that's not your fault. We don't hold that against you. But we do want you to try.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
And kids are $15.
Nice.
You know.
I mean, for 3 days worth of entertainment, you know, that's really good price.
It is. And we'll start getting more and more badge sales as we get closer. And, you know, we've switched platforms too, and it's caused a little confusion and all that stuff. But it hasn't confused our vendors because they have bought us out.
Nice.
So,
Which is very nice.
it is very nice.
Perfect.
And it hasn't confused our Game Masters because they've been registering games, and we're, like I said, we're getting full.
Great.
All right. When and where is Tremendicon?
It is May 31st through June 1st. Or May 30th through June 1st. I don't even know anymore. I'm going to be there like Wednesday before the con. So, yeah, it starts at noon on Friday, and we'll end probably around 3 or 4 on Sunday. Just depends on what time we get done with our closing ceremonies.
Gotcha. And that's taking place at the Oasis Convention Center and Hotel in Springfield, Missouri.
That's right. That's on the north side by 44.
Well, that was the one in the 417 Gamer podcast. Andrea, where do we go after this?
The 7.
All right, let's go to the 7. You're listening to the 417 Gamer podcast, and there's multiple ways to follow us. You can follow us through the Libsyn website at hobbygamingnetwork.libsyn.com. Follow us on Spotify. Search Hobby Gaming Network or 417 Gamer Podcast. Find us there. On Instagram, we are Hobby Gaming Network. On YouTube, follow us with the 417 Gamer channel. And, of course, if you'd like to direct any show notes and any comments to us, facebook.com/Hobby Gaming Network. Let's get back on with the 7. This 7 in the 417Gamer podcast, we're going to have our guest answer the 7 questions of the 417Gamer podcast. David, are you ready?
I think so.
Question number 1, what is the earliest game you remember playing? And then what was your first hobby game?
So, the earliest game I can remember playing was Dungeon. We played the original, was it 1978 that it came out? Had the original box set. And I found it in my dad's stuff. And I remember him having friends over when I was, maybe like 7?
Yeah.
I remember them sitting at the dining room table playing games. And yeah, I remember playing Dungeon with them.
That's great.
Yeah. And as far as hobby games go,
I think Dungeon would qualify as a hobby game.
Dungeon does qualify. But I also remember my dad taking me up to the local hobby shop. And it was literally a basement area of like a retail space.
Yeah.
And it had like models and stuff like that, but it had an RC track for little cars. Mm-hmm. But the ones that went into the thing, and then
slot cars,
yes. And I remember going there and racing them all the time. They used to have tournaments. I always lost.
Fun.
Number 2, what color do you prefer to play as?
I usually like to play red. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Number 3, what style of game do you prefer to play? And what style of game do you try and stay away from?
What style of game do I prefer to play? There's several that would really kind of fall into that, but I really like cooperative games. Like interactively cooperative, where you have to come up with you need to come up with strategy with the group, and everybody needs to pull their weight. Eldritch Horror is a really good example of that. I love that game and hate that game.
Yeah.
Because it is so hard to win. So yeah, that'd be the kind of game that I really like. But the kind of games that I really hate, I wouldn't say I hate any kind of game, but games I do stay away from are the games that take this game takes 6 hours to play. Well, I'm not afraid of that, but 3 hours of that is us learning the game and playing it wrong, or the game's rule book isn't very good, and I don't fault anybody for that. Rule books are hard to make.
Yeah,
but if the rule book's hard, it doesn't make it fun.
It's nice that we live in an age where you can watch YouTube videos now about people teaching you the games in a video format.
That is very true.
Yeah.
And they're for everything is there out.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just as an estimate for question number 4, how many games are in your personal collection?
Well, if you ask my wife, it's too many. So I have an entertainment center. It's very big, and the TV's in the middle, and then it has 2 big like cabinets, full-size cabinets with like barn door sit up, and you close it, and it closes off the center TV part, and it opens up these shelves, and both of them are super full with board games.
Nice.
And then I have 2-3 shelves full of role-playing games. Yes.
Nice.
Number 5, is there a game that you have not won but you really, really want to?
I think I have at one point won every game that I have played at some point.
Yeah.
I don't win them all.
Sure.
But,
Play them frequently enough.
Yeah, the one game that I would like to win that I have not won is Star Wars Outer Rim. That game's super fun. Mm-hmm. But it's another long haul kind of game. You're going to be there for a couple hours. But it's so much fun to play. And I have not won it.
Okay.
Well, in episode 39, Andrea and I will talk about Star Wars Rebellion. We got to play that. That's a long haul game.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's really good.
Yeah. It was.
Number 6, what's one piece of advice you'd send back to yourself as you were just getting into the gaming hobby?
Don't lose any of them. I used to have some of the old TSR war games.
Yeah.
Like Divine Right and some of the old World War II games, the box set games.
Yeah.
And I looked online. I wanted to get Divine Right again because my friends used to play it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like really expensive. It's like a couple $100 for that box set. I had it. I sold it for my dad.
Yeah.
It was one of those games that he had.
Right.
So that would be the piece of advice. Don't get rid of any of them.
Yeah.
They're too expensive to replace sometimes. Dungeon's not so hard to replace. But if you want the original one, that's a little harder to replace.
And then last but not least, currently, what are your 7 favorite games?
My 7 favorite games. And I can go across the board here, right?
Yeah, wherever you want to go.
Well, it's kind of obvious right now for me, but I do really enjoy the Star Wars Unlimited TCG. It's only a year old. It's really fun. I'm playing it competitively, but just playing it for fun is also a lot of fun, too. Mm-hmm. It's just, if you like card games, it's a fun one to get into.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing Gundam card game. Mm-hmm. But of my favorite games, I would say that I really do love playing Star Wars Outer Rim. I got the expansion. We haven't played it yet, so I'm really looking forward to that. Eldritch Horror. It really is the game I love to hate. It's so hard sometimes, but I really love playing it. I backed the Kickstarter for the They Live board game. Yeah. That is super fun. Mm-hmm. And what's really great is they give you the glasses too.
Oh, that's great.
And it allows you to take a look at cards, and sometimes the cards have double meaning.
Yay.
So yeah, it's really cool.
Nice.
Then so what is that? 3?
I've got so number 7. I got Star Wars Unlimited. Number 6, I got Star Wars Outer Rim. 5, I've got Eldritch Horror. Number 4, I've got They Live. So
okay.
We got number 3.
So another one that I really like is a game called Dungeon Derby.
Okay.
It is a game where you are like a dungeon overlord guy, and you're betting on this like chariot race. But you can do things to influence the race, but you're betting money on it as well. You have like little like gold coins and bricks and stuff like that, and that's the game is basically betting on it and then influencing the race. And it's pretty fun. And it was a Kickstarter game. I love playing Zombies.
Yeah.
Zombies is a lot of fun, except when my friend Matt's playing, because if Matt can't win, he makes it so that everybody else is going to have a lot harder time winning.
I have some of those friends too. Sometimes I am that friend.
I mean, sometimes you got to be, right? Yeah.
And last
probably is, and I'm gonna throw it back old school, and it's a game that I don't own, and it's really hard to get a hold of now, but one of my friends does own it, and he owns it and the expansion, and that is the old Aliens board game. Did you guys ever play that? Okay, so you play as the characters. Every character gets so many actions, and you're playing in the different scenarios of the movie. And at first, the aliens are coming out pretty slow, but it does tend to ramp up and get out of control really fast.
Yeah.
So, and you're trying to shoot them and move, but you can't do both all the time.
Sure.
So it's such a great game. I think it was West End that did that game.
Okay.
If you find it though, it's very, very, very expensive.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
that's if you can get the expansion, that's even better.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the 417 Gamer podcast. Once again, Tremendicon takes place May 30th through June 1st at the Oasis Convention Center in Springfield, Missouri. Go to Tremendicon.com for badges and more information. David, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you guys next time. Keep gaming in the 417. Goodbye.
Bye.
The 417 Gamer podcast is recorded and produced by Andrea and Rick Bagwell. The intro music we use, Kind, Gentle, Beautiful Person, and the outro music, Making Up for Lost Time, was created by Origami Reptica. For links to our show notes, the music, and guest links, head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Hobby Gaming Network. Until next time, keep gaming in the 417.
We got a bonus 7. David, you missed our episode 37 when we talked about card games. Life happened and you couldn't make it to us. We missed you, but you did make a list.
I did.
So let's talk about your top 7 card games.
I'm going to put this top 7 in no exact order.
Okay.
Because all these games I've loved to a certain extent.
Sure.
Okay, so number 1 is Decipher Star Wars CCG. From the 90s and into the 2000s. Don't look at the history of Decipher and why they're not here anymore. That's sad news. But they made a great game.
We've heard stories from various friends in the gaming sphere.
Another one, so number 2, actually is Lord of the Rings TCG from Decipher. It is such a good game. It's so well made and it's super collectible. Those cards still have value. Yeah. Even now, And then I would say I'm going to put the Star Wars Unlimited TCG in there. It is thriving and it's new and it's going gangbusters. And then I would say Young Jedi, which was another Decipher fun game. Not very complicated game. Kind of like War with extra steps. You could, if you were kind of a strategically minded person, you knew pretty much if you were going to win or lose a couple moves ahead. So, but that was a really fun game to play. I hate to put it on there. I don't play it anymore because it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
But it's Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't make ours because we don't play it.
It's because you don't need another addiction.
Well, it was an addiction that I got the original deck with friends and I watched them play it and I'm like, you guys can have my deck. We went to Hastings here in Springfield.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we all got a deck apiece and it was like $20 a person. And like I watched the two friends and they played a match and I'm like, they're like, you understand? I'm like, yeah. I think I'm just going to go home and play Donkey Kong Country 2. Oh. So I went home and played Donkey Kong Country 2.
Just not for you.
Your bank account thanks you.
Well, Donkey Kong Country 2 was $80.
Well, yeah.
Because, I mean, I know people are, like, griping about the price of video games going up again. Like, I remember Super Nintendo cartridges in the early 90s. I had to mow a lot of yards to get some of those games or wait for them to go to the pawn shop.
Yep, exactly. And it was always sports games in the pawn shop. If you wanted to play Madden, you could go there and get it for like $2.
You had to go there religiously.
Yes.
Because when somebody would sell their console, all the good stuff would go quick.
Yes.
And then you'd be left with NBA Live 94, 95, Madden right. 94, 95.
Which is nothing wrong with those games.
NFL Quarterback Club.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that one.
I also, and like I said, I'm a big Decipher fan back in the day. I played the Star Trek, The Next Generation, CCG.
Yeah.
That's right. Back when they called them CCGs. Customizable card games.
Collectible card games.
Collectible card games. Now it's trading card games. But there's also living card games.
LCGs.
Yep.
And the last, number 7.
The number 7 is one that I've only gotten to play a little bit, and I really do want to try to play it more. It's another Fantasy Flight Games. They've got all the good intellectual properties right now, but it's the Lord of the Rings LCG. Nice. It looks so cool, and they have more than one type of it too. They also have it's like a scenario based as well. They also have I think. They also got a miniature game that they have now, too. Very cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, one of our questions that we were discussing as we're getting out of here, we were talking about what takes a card game and makes it a board game. We talked about it also when we were playing Finspan. You played that with us.
Yeah, that was a great game. Not a card game.
Not a card game. But we were talking about, some of the big, like some of those LCGs you talked about. Lord of the Rings card game comes in a big box. Mm-hmm. That's a card game to you.
Yes.
And then we were talking about one of our friends. He plays Dominion, which is just a big board game box filled with cards. To me, card game. To him, he says board game.
I get it. But he said that it was, if there's a board, then it's a board game. But that's not true. Because a lot of games, especially now, some of them, they require you to have a board.
Yeah.
Or a play mat.
Yeah.
And that's not always true, but some of the more complicated ones, you do have to have something that goes along with it. And I thought a lot about that, and I really feel like my knee-jerk answer is true. I think that it has to constitute, the majority of it has to constitute cards that influence the game, and that is where the majority of your stuff is taking place. Majority of your interactions, your transactions, your take that's and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And if there's some customizability to it too, I feel like that makes it even more. If it's a card, like Eldritch Horror is a good example. You have cards, just cards for everything, but it's not a card game.
Yeah.
So, does a mechanical change it for you? There's a game called Rhino Hero where you're building a tower of cards. Is that still a card game? We have a game on our shelf called Flower Fall where you're tossing the cards, and whenever they hit, they make groupings of flowers, and you want your color to be present so you can claim the most area. It's a dexterity game. Is that a card game?
It's a dexterity game.
See, for me, it's a card game too.
See, I think that's where everybody's so divided.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you want to know what the answer is, you go to board game, you can see what they.
Oh, I don't want the answer. I just want the argument.
Right? Yeah. No, I mean, to me, coming from a heavy card game, trading card game, living card game, customizable, all those are card games.
Yeah.
But there've been a lot of games that I feel like are heavily used cards. Like one of my games is a card game because that's what you use. It's just cards.
Yeah.
Besides the scoring tablet, that's it. That's the only difference. And then I have another game that everybody has a board, and then there's a map, and you're using cards that you're getting for resources and things like that, and also stuff that you can do for yourself or to your neighbor. But it is not a card game. It's a resource management worker placement game. It's heavy on cards, but it's not a card game to me.
Yeah. See, for me, are the cards the primary driver, or are they the primary way you interact with the game? And if there is a board, is the board superfluous? So, like, we really like Splendor and Splendor Marvel. There's poker chips that is your economy to where how you buy cards, but you could easily replace all those poker chips with just cards.
Yeah.
And it's a card game to me. As well as there's a game we have that's called Lost Cities. When you unfold the board, Lost Cities is you're going on expeditions to the Antarctic, to a tropical region, a jungle, a desert, and another, like a volcano. And they're all colored red, green, blue, white, yellow. And you play your cards. The board is just there so you can just to dictate where you place cards. Without them, if somebody just played the first yellow card, well, that's the pile that we now play. That's where yellow plays. You could just randomize it and just wherever you play them. The board is superfluous. To me, Lost Cities is a card game.
I get that. I do. And you know what? I think that games can be both things.
I agree. But I just, A, like the discussion. B, like the argument, because I'm a kid of the 80s, 90s. Where it was Nike or Reebok. It was Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter.
Yeah.
It was Nintendo or Sega.
Yeah. Coke or Pepsi.
Coke or Pepsi.
Yep.
I grew up through so many of the arguments. Who's better?
Yeah, I feel like...
DC, Marvel.
Yeah, I think that debate's still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But...
If the other side doesn't have the X-Men, then they can't argue.
I mean, I think they're both losing. But I would say that for me... If you're going to list it as a card game, is it a card game first or is it a card game secondarily?
Gotcha.
If you, like last night, could we call Finspan a card game?
Yes.
But yet, I feel like you could change those cards out for other things. Mm-hmm. You could use coins or tokens that have that exact same thing on it. And it wouldn't be a card game because you wouldn't be using cards. Cards is just a cheap way of doing it to manufacture the game.
Yeah.
But I think you could also get away. Maybe you can't get away from the board. So maybe it is just a board game. Because in my head, while we were playing, I was like, I could do this with cards, I could do that with cards. But then the bonuses at the bottom are hard to do without card, or do with cards, not a board.
Yeah.
The actions that you're taking your divers down is hard to do with just the board, not cards. All right, you've changed me. It's a board game, not a card game. Not a card game anymore.
I feel like it is with a card game mechanic. With a card mechanic.
It has cards.
Yeah. A card mechanic is, I think, different from being a card game exclusively.
Right.
So,
All right.
very cool. Good conversation.
Yes.